If you guys want to increase your sales, I've got a book here that nobody has ever heard of called Selling with Psycochek that is the key to increase your conversions and your sales on everything. It's based on using psychology to figure out what people's personality profiles and types are, and then based on that, changing your sales script and your sales message. Okay, this book was written in 1963, but the stuff you're gonna learn today, I'm gonna show you how to use the AI to dramatically increase your sales using these principles from this book. So with that said, let's get into it. I'm gonna show you guys about selling with Psycochek. Hey, this is Russell. Welcome back to my vault. Today, I've got something very cool for any of you guys who want to sell more stuff, persuade more people, and probably make a whole bunch more money. It's a book that is almost unknown. It was published in 1963 called Selling with Psycochek by Eugene Tasset DuPont. It's really rare. I was trying to find every book on sales and psychology known to man on eBay, and this one showed up. It cost me $450, and it's the only copy I've had a chance to find. So what does Psycochek mean? Well, according to the author here, Psycochek is basically a philosophy or a system where you identify the type of personality a buyer has, and then you create a sales system based on the type of personality. The way that he structures it here inside this book, because it'll get the wheels in your head spinning, but then I want to take it to the next level because we're doing this at a high level that is something that all of you guys can implement in your business, and I guarantee you will make more money by making this one little tweak. All right, so inside the book, he basically breaks it down and says there's three types of buyers. The first he calls an intro buyer, okay? An intro buyer is somebody who's cautious, deliberate, analytical, they're a decision maker, somebody who wants facts and logics and things like that, right? So that's one type of buyer. The second type of buyer is called an extro buyer. This is someone who thinks fast, like fast decisions, bold decisions. They see something they want and they take action on it. And the third type he calls is an ambo type buyer, which is a balance, where they're kind of like, they're weighing between emotion and logic, and they're kind of in between on both of those. So if you've ever studied any of the sales stuff I do, I always talk about there's like emotion, logic, and then fear is my third thing that I use when I'm trying to sell something. And so for him, it's very similar. He's saying there's emotional buyers, there's logical buyers, and there's people that are kind of in between. And so in this book, he was trying to take this into car dealerships and other places where people are selling and help people understand that, like, when somebody comes into your world, the first thing you gotta identify is what type of buying persona they have, and then based on that, you shift and change your sales script, okay? Because prior to this, what happened is the salesman's got a script, someone would come in and they would go through the script and try to sell the person. And what this identifies, like, let's find out who these people are first, and then based on that, we're gonna have different sales scripts. That makes sense? So if somebody comes in and they're an intro type buyer, or who I would call a logical buyer, it's gonna have a different sales presentation, right? Like, what are the logical arguments I need to give this person so that they're willing and likely to actually buy? Now, if somebody comes into me and they're more emotional, or what he would call extro type buyer, I'm gonna have a completely different sales presentation, right? If I'm just selling cars, I'm gonna come in, they're gonna sit in the car, we're gonna drive around, we're gonna, like, have the wind blow in their hair, like making a very emotional experience with them, because that's what's gonna get somebody to buy if they are an emotional buyer, or as he says, an extro buyer. Fast forward from 1963 to today, right? The internet's come out, and what's fascinating is that most people are still selling the way that we were selling pre-1963, right? Personality type doesn't matter anything. We're just taking one sales message and we're just jamming it down people's throats, right? One video sales letter, one webinar, one challenge, one whatever that thing might be. Because it's honestly, it's a lot easier, and you're just kind of hoping that you'll get the most amount of people, and hopefully, but we're always kind of just, it's just kind of this process where we're just kind of hoping for the best. And so for us, we started playing with this a couple years back when we launched ClickFunnels initially. Again, very similar. We had one sales message for everybody, like, you need a funnel, and we jam it down everyone's throats. And as ClickFunnels started growing, we realized that there were different segments of people. And so we created this funnel. We affectionately called it Mother Funnel, because it was a big project, and most of the team wanted to swear every time we talked about it. So it became Mother Funnel. And the way Mother Funnel worked, it was the ClickFunnels homepage. We came here and we knew, based on our surveys and our data, that there were a lot of different types of buyers, okay? There were people who were in e-commerce, people who were network marketers, people who were info marketers, people who were affiliates, people who were had brick and mortar businesses, right? So we had all these different types of businesses. And so when someone would come to ClickFunnels.com back then, they would come there, they'd watch a video of me talking about why funnels are the greatest thing in the world, and then we'd ask them, like, what type of business do you have? So we'd ask them this basic survey question, because that would help us identify, like, oh, this person's, in e-commerce, or they're selling info, whatever it was, right? So they would select that, and then based on that, we had different sales messages happening for them, right? So we'd have one page, they would have video sales there. It's like, oh, congratulations, you're a network marketer. Let me explain how ClickFunnels works for network marketers, right? And then we'd have that, and then they would go, and then everything was based on, if you're a network marketer, here's how you would use ClickFunnels. And if they said, I'm an e-commerce person, it's like, oh, congratulations. And we have a different page for that. And so we picked a different video sales there, a different sales message for every single type of buying persona. What we were using is we were selling with Psycochek, and I didn't even know that's what it was called, right? So that was like one version of that. And that's like the most simple version. And then on top of that, we'd have a whole email sequence with the different email sequence based on, if we do their network marketer, we'd have 20 emails that was focusing on explaining how network marketers could use ClickFunnels, right? And then if they were an e-commerce seller, we had 20 emails on e-commerce sellers, and so on and so forth through all these different paths, okay? So that's how we initially were using it inside of ClickFunnels. It was amazing because it gave us the ability to talk to our customers based on who they actually were. That was kind of phase number one. Phase number two, we started doing some more things. I got mildly obsessed with personality profiling. In fact, I have a company that literally, this is what the entire company does. It's called understand.me. If you go to understand.me, you can go and you sign up for a free account. And then in there, you can take all the personality profiles. You take the DISC exam, Enneagram, 16 personalities. You take all the different personality profiles. And it's really cool. It pops up a page where you can see all of your things in one spot. In fact, if you go to understand.me/Russell Brunson, you'll see my DISC profile, my strength finder, you'll see all my personality profiles, right? So we created this for as a tool, but what was really interesting is we started doing this, we started sending it to our clients and our students, and every time someone would apply for a job, I'm like, go to understand.me, create a personality profile. We want to like understand who you are before we do any kind of hiring. And so we get all these personality profiles coming in, and that was kind of the foundation, right? It made things a lot easier, but then I was like, I wonder if we could use these results so we could coach people better. So what we started doing is, over here is my inner circle. This is my high-end coaching program. We had all inner circle members go to understand.me, take their personality profiling, and what happened really quickly is we were able to start bucketing people. Say, okay, these are all the people that are based on this, like they're high D, like the DISC profile, they're driven, right? Or these are the people that are more focused on high I, like they're performers, they want to be on stage, they want to be speakers. These people over here are our S's, and these are our C's, right? And so from just on the DISC profile, we had all this information about people. And so then our coaches could go and they're knowing like, when I'm working with somebody, this person is a high D, therefore I'm going to coach them completely different than if someone was a high I, and vice versa, right? And so it gave us context before we would coach. We did the same thing with strength finders and Enneagram. And so when our coaches would show up, they would be able to look at somebody and say, okay, this person, I know that they're a high D, their strength is competition, their Enneagram is a 3-wing 2, or whatever it is, right? And they start seeing it, and all of a sudden they know everything about the person, and they could coach them better. And we saw like the transformation for the members in their circle. It skyrocketed because everything we were doing with them was custom for how their brain and personality actually can see the world, right? Again, the concepts of selling with Psycochek, even though this was like a coaching fulfillment, but then this gave me the idea. I was like, okay, based on that, what if when somebody came and they opted into my funnel, if I knew their DISC profile, if I knew these different things, what if we rewrote the copy in real time? So somebody opts in, it pings our database, say, oh, this person's a high D, strength finder is a whatever, and this is their Enneagram, and then have AI like rewrite this headline for someone who's a D, 3-wing 2, and a whatever, right? And in real time, it can write a headline to speak specifically to that person, right? And so that's something that we've been working on our side, is be able to like ping our databases to pull in info about somebody and then rewrite the funnel based on personality, which again is like selling on Psycochek on steroids, like going from 3 personalities to like, we can find out everything about them, then rewriting copy in real time based on who that human being is. That got me really fascinated. And I got one last step, because this is something that I've been watching people do with AI now. We started testing it just this last week and a half, 2 weeks. We've been building out this, but this is something where I think a lot of you guys could actually implement very, very quickly. Most of you guys right now have some version of a chatbot working for you, right? Maybe you cloned your brain, maybe you did whatever. You'll see the Russell Brunson version that's coming out very, very soon if you haven't already. And basically what it is there's a chatbot, right? And it's the AI Russell, and people can come, give some spiky here. There's AI Russell. People can come and have conversations with it, right? AI Russell is built out to ask very specific questions as they're coming in through this chat conversation. And in this chat conversation, it is trying to identify their core personality profiles based on simple questions. Instead of them taking a quiz, and from that, it's like, oh, here's my DISC, here's my Enneagram. Like asking strategic questions, a set of 5 to 10 questions that gets us to understand like, oh, okay, this person's a high I, low D, high C, they do this. And based on that, within 10 questions or so, we know with extreme accuracy exactly what their core personality profiles are. And now this chatbot can cater and shift the conversations to get them into a selling situation where we're able to speak to them for exactly who they are. This is something that's not difficult to do with most AI chatbots and things like that. Again, you'll see my version coming out in the near future, and you guys can look at it, you can funnel hack it, and you can model it. But just understanding like that's the psychology of what we're doing. All right, if you guys want to go a little bit deeper into this book and get some of the core nuggets we pulled out that we're now applying and using as we come into here, we've got our note sheet. Click on the description down below. There's notes where I pull out the best stuff from the book and give it to you guys for free. If you're interested, just click the link down below. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this increases your sales and increases the success rate for the customers you've been called to serve. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you guys on the next video.